morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kurojiri, your resident tinkerer and Medarot, here celebrating 3 years of dedicated Medarot news coverage here on my channel. And boy, do I have to say, it's honestly quite exhilarating to be able to come this far. And I've had that project in particular, I've had that saved for at least a good couple weeks now that I've been working on that like a madman. And I'm just so excited. I was chomping at the bit wanting to share that with you guys, as my little gift to you is just kind of a timeline of who exactly I am, what I've done, and what kind of led to this decision for me to become the tinkerer that I am today and the voice for you guys. And honestly, I had a lot of fun with it. I'm more than certain you guys probably wouldn't believe me if I said I've never animated before. That was a completely new endeavor for me, but I figured, with an anniversary coming up, we may as well go big or go home with it. And I really hope you guys did enjoy that as like I said, as a gift from me to you, and a way to say thank you for your encouraged support and encouragement in general over these last 3 years that I have been going live and delivering the news to you in English. But I do have a handful of other special gifts and surprises for you today as well, but I will get to those in due time. Now, I'm more than certain you guys are all here for the main general news coverage as per the norm on Tuesdays, and in a different form of fashion, I am streaming this one because it is my 3rd anniversary and figured I'd do something special for it. But in terms of coverage for today's stuff and what to expect with this week, it's going to be a relatively quiet week. Nothing overly new with the exception of celebrating one of our resident MetaTubers getting their 3rd form, as you see here, and celebrating her birthday as her debut is coming up, or debut anniversary is coming up again here pretty shortly. So not a whole lot of new stuff per se, so it is going to be a really nice slow week to kind of relax and recuperate a little bit. But there are a number of changes that are coming to the game as well that were announced that I will be going over in detail as well, just to kind of help clarify things a little bit, and then a very special segment toward the end where I open the floor. But again, I will get to all that in due time. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was officially announced for this week's content, starting of course with the gacha banners. This week it's going to be relatively low-key. Of course, starting and spearheading that lineup is the new form for Leolila, which is FJK02 Leolila 3, with a kit of Shooter Core, Hyper Freeze Shot, Hyper Thunder Shot, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Rising. So it makes it very clear that Leah-chan's going back to her roots and her original form, or her original kit with her new form, in which honestly I'm 100% okay with. She was never designed to be a particular aggressor or nuker sort of fashion, much akin to say Shushu Pop or Cheerful Bun. But she still has her own particular charm as a resident Learjet and gamer girl, and very creative design as well, might I add on top of that. In addition to Leolila 3, we are also getting reruns of the original 2. Starting that lineup is FJK0 Leolila, the base form, with Commander, Freeze Shot, Thunder Shot, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Continuous P, which also is capable of tune-up as a friendly reminder, so you can get extra bonuses such as improved heat or cool, or even extended duration on those particular ailments so that you can stall them just a little bit longer than before and buy yourself a few extra moments of time. Then, we also have FJK01 Leah 2 with Kernel, Tornado, Suction, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Holy Grace. So very, very well-rounded, but again, kind of highlighting the particular specialty of being a stun locker or an ailment fighter more than an aggressor or a dedicated nuker, which has honestly served Leah-chan very well ever since her initial debut as a very fast, very speedy, little bit squishy, but overall very solid model all the same. And it's very nice that she is picking up the aggression just a little bit in terms of her new kit with Hyper Thunder Shot and Hyper Freeze Shot, so just a little bit of caution is advised if you are planning to use her over her other forms. Now, there is another major change coming to the gacha banners as well, and how these 3 are going to behave, but I will get to that here very shortly because that does kind of need its own segment in comparison to how exactly it's going to work and what all to expect. 03 starts is their arc. Very good possibility of it. Moving forward, for our fierce battles of this week, they're going to be focusing mostly on stun locking in particular, just kind of driving that point home as it was with Leah-chan in particular. This week in particular, we're going to be starting up with MNN 03 Iru Mashira, the blue monkey type, with with a repair plant, double free shot, biped legs, and the leg ability of gunman. Next to him, we have FLW-01 Charge Seeds with beam, double heater, plant, multi-legs, and the leg ability of extra magazine. And then finishing us off on that top row is CLA-01 Kanahachi Mark II with triple hold, multi-legs, and the leg ability of Mariner. Starting this lineup on the bottom row, we're kind of going back in the whole theme of the Garage Girl Band in particular. Starting that lineup is GBB-01 Slap Beat with Shoot Boost, Beam, Thunder Shot, Light Legs, and the leg ability of Radiator. Next to her, we have GBD-01 Blast Beat with Guard Boost, Double Break, Hammer, Take Legs, and the leg ability of Barrier. And then last but not least, GBG-01 Fret Beat with Fight Boost, Beam Sword, Fire, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Radiator. Now, as I said, just three of these models alone specialize in stopping an enemy in some form or fashion, or even slowing them down. Iru Mashira and Slap Beat in particular do kind of highlight that particular respect. And as an MVP of the week, I do specifically have to give it to Iru Mashira, primarily for the fact that free shot that's basically free. You can farm it basically at any given time, and it's available to you at any time. Even if the parts are a little expensive to raise at 1 star, will always be your best friend in later competitive. And even in current competitive meta with veteran players, I still see it pretty commonly, so it's going to be a very worthwhile part. Thunder Shot can be same for Slap Beat as well, as a way to stop enemies cold for female types. If Leah-chan does in particular fancy your interest, Slap Beat does certainly have you handled. The other model, Kanahachi Mark II, is going to be very solid as well for slowing enemies down with hold and debuffing their heat and cool, and the multi-legs with a mastery on sea terrain honestly makes it a very solid addition as well, in case you need that mastery on sea legs, which in particular no one really tends to have. Blast Beat, Fret Beat, Charge Seeds. I'm not going to say anything on Charge Seeds. You guys know my opinions on him if you've seen my individual breakdown, so I won't go into detail with him. But Blast Beat and Fret Beat in particular are also very solid as well. Blast Beat for heavy coverage, Fret Beat for your more conventional melee coverage, especially all for the female variety, so that you can have a little more variety in your parts library when building mono female teams. Now, moving forward with game stuff in particular, like I said, not a whole lot of new stuff, as I want to tend to focus this week to specialize and celebrate Leah-chan's birthday that's coming up. So in particular, aside from getting a special gift upon login with the current patch that goes live on Thursday, we are also getting a new Super Invasion featuring Leah 3 herself in her upgraded form, as well as new BGM bundles that are available on the web store. In particular, one of the BGMs will highlight a brand new song that was released by Leah-chan called Shine On You, Shine On Me, that they did highlight and play a demo of in today's early coverage. It's got a really solid beat, not gonna lie, and because it is available on the web store, you can basically pick it up at any time. I don't expect it to have a duration or an expiration period where it goes away, so I don't believe that one should be going anywhere anytime soon. I really can't say anything on the Super Invasion either, primarily because the Metatuber Super Invasion were normally just a bundle of all three together, but now because that we're going to 4 levels per Super Invasion, it's kind of hard telling what the rules are going to be. But I know for a fact that if the Metatuber Super Invasions Volumes 1 and 2 are any kind of indicative, Leah-chan's most certainly not going to pull any stops when it comes to standing before you on the field. Let me see here. Congrats on my 3 years. Yes, thank you so much, guys, for those congratulations on 3 years. I honestly could not have done it with you without your support and your encouragement, and I honestly have to give a lot of these celebrations to you. Her design is really neat. Yes, I actually really do like this design for Leah 3. Personally, I'm still more in the Leah 2 camp, but I think this one will grow on me pretty quick. I wish Black Cruise was in it. I've been saving up for her. Yes, Black Cruise is a very solid model as well when she does come around. Now, in terms of the major gacha banner pickup, like I said, there's no real event or anything going on this week, since again they're mainly highlighting Leah-chan and her birthday. But the major change to the gacha banners is that they're going to be adding a whole bunch of the previous pickup banners from 2023 and older. Question mark, because that's the wording on that one was kind of weird between frames on the main coverage channel. But basically how it works is whatever the main highlighted bot is going to be. So in this case, Leah 3. You're going to have highlighted rates for Leah's 1 and 2, and maybe a handful of other limited pickups as you see here. Hardness 10, Arc Beetle, Mystery Leader, just to name a few. There's no real telling who all is going to be in it. Again, there's no real word. The phrasing was really weird on it. But it's not. There's no real telling if they're going to put all the pickup banners in the limited gachas at any given time going forward, or if they're going to cycle a handful of them. There's no real telling, so only time will tell how this is going to behave. But it is kind of controversial on the fact that it does mean that they're going to be lowering the rates just ever so slightly for the main highlighted bot, and of course any of the pickups that are going to be highlighted in there as well. I think if my numbers were correct, they were highlighting about 1% from 1.2 for the highlighted bot in particular. And I think they said 0.025 or 0.25, I think, for the other ghost pickups that are going to be put in there. So, like I said, it's hard to tell what's all going to be in there and how exactly they're going to go about it. Right now, the general opinion is people aren't super keen about it, but again, time will tell if they decide to stick with this, or if it's just an experimental kind of thing, or they're going to tune the rates in the future. But we will have to stay tuned and kind of keep going through each week as we carry on and continue. The general idea is this week is going to be pretty easily I don't think it's going to be a very busy week. It's going to be a pretty nice and slow rest week, so any kind of content that you've been meaning to catch up on, super invasions, marathon fights, or even continue with the DS anniversary event, I don't think you guys really have too much to worry about. So recoup your resources, take a week to breathe, and then from here, I highly expect that it might be picking back up again, as we may or may not see a collaboration between now and the 4.5 anniversary starting next month. No real telling on that, but we will have to see. So if you guys are waiting on expecting anything major, you guys can go ahead and take your collective sigh of relief now. I will give you your moment. Now, with that moment aside, continuing on, there is a couple other things. In terms of the highlighted online PvP skins, they did highlight that we are getting 2 new ones this week as well. We will be getting a Hydrangea style Attractor and a Teru Teru Bozu style Kanahachi Mark II. One of which is going to be a fierce battle, so don't need to worry about him going anywhere. And Attractor is a Spotlight, which means she will be available basically anytime. And we are also getting a rerun of the Priest-style Gentle Heart that we had about a year ago. So it is going to be really nice to see those rerun skins, and I really, really like that they're doing that, as it means it gives an opportunity for new players that just started recently or even missed these skins to be able to go back and have a chance at them again so that they can add them to their libraries. And just as a friendly reminder, the particular models for this month as well will be permanently available all month to celebrate. Gentle Heart as a pickup model at any given time. Attractor very likely will be a Spotlight all to herself. And Kanahachi Mark II will very likely stay in the Fierce Battle pool pretty much all month as well, so no real rush on him either. And as an added bonus, they are also adding the Bridal Style Dokoka no Oji and Otogi Princess skins to the convenience store, much like they did last month with the Mad Natchery and the Bastroyer skins. Very hopefully that we're going to be seeing the fix to the purchasing skins in the convenience store, since a lot of people did complain initially that if they had even one piece, they weren't able to purchase it in the store properly. I do recall seeing a note somewhere that said that they fixed that, or they are looking into fixing it very soon. I do expect that probably will be going live with this patch if it has not gone live already. And first, as a friendly reminder, if you already have the pre-skin for Gentle Heart and you do end up collecting those parts, it's just going to be free diamonds that you can use toward any other skins that you collect. It's going to be primarily the Kanahachi Mark II and the Attractor skins that are going to be the really big ones to focus on. And again, I really like that they're rerunning these skins. I still have my fingers crossed eventually for a Manjiro skin at some point, but only time will tell as we go forward. Moving on to community-based stuff, just as a friendly reminder, we are still always looking for translators to assist us with any current projects or endeavors. Right now, the Medarot 3 translation is still ongoing and still in its very near-end phases. Mostly just a lot of bug fixes and grammar checks just to make sure everything's behaving as it should. And just based on observation I see when I do poke my head in that translation channel every once in a while, it is very positively and very well received because of how complete it is and us being able to enjoy the story of Medarot 3 at last. We would love to start working on other projects such as Medarot 4 and 5 and Navi, or even some of the later games as well, but we need manpower to do so. So if you are knowledgeable in coding, cleaning, Japanese, or have some time on your hands, or if you know somebody that might, feel free to send them our way, have them reach out to me, or join our Discord in the link provided and in the comments below. To join our Discord, ask around, we'll fill you in on what has been done, send you in the right direction, and fill you in on what has been done and what still needs done up to this point. I personally have not played the patch for Medarot 3 yet. I am excited to and would like to. Maybe as a possible stream on a Sunday, I might possibly do that and pick it up officially. Probably when I get closer to the end of Dark Cloud 2, or even midway if I need a break. We will have to see as time goes forward. Now, one other thing I do want to touch on, I was actually going to make a video on this a number of days ago after we started think-tanking as a group community, and I'm so proud of you guys for coming together so quickly with fixes for this. I'm honestly shocked. Like, I would have expected this to take like a week or something for us to figure out, but we got together really quick, and honestly within the day, within the 24 hours of the patch going live, we already had at least one tentative fix, and now easily 2 or 3 that we can all bounce on and rely on, that we can use to try to get people that were locked out of the game in the Western community back in the action and back in time for this week's patch. But to explain basically what happened in case you missed that video, long story short, with the implementation of Medarot S on the Google Play Beta Store, a lot of Google security very likely kicked in and booted off any third-party app stores that were able to access the app initially. So anyway, such as with QApp before, was fully borked. People were freaking out because they were not able to log into the game and really scared that they were losing their account, especially because they removed the Facebook and the Twitter links as well for accounting. But within about 24 hours or so, we do have some initial fixes for that going forward, and I am just going to list off the very basic steps here. We do have a dedicated channel in the Medarot S category where you can ask these questions specifically in case you need to go into any further detail or have any questions. But the 2 basic fixes, or at least the most common ones that we did see, are as follows, both of which are going to require you to have a VPN set in Japan. You do not need it for the whole duration. You only need it for as far as Step 2 and Step 3 in particular with fixes 1 and 2. After that and it's set up, you can turn off the VPN. You don't need it anymore. But to explain Fix 1, you need the VPN, turn it on, and set it in Japan as the region. Step 2, you are going to, while your PC or your device is set in Japan, or thinks it's in Japan, you are going to create a brand new Google account while it's set in this region, and verify any and all information needed to tell Google it's a legitimate account, it's mine, and it's ready to go. Once you have everything verified and the account is ready to go and sign in, just sign into the app to the Google Play Store. It should automatically default to the Japan region. Look for Medarot S and you should be good to go. For Fix 2, it's going to be relatively the same thing, but a lot of people noticed that with Fix 1, the complication was the requirement of the phone number, which has stopped a lot of people from being able to finish this step in particular. A friend of ours was able to find a second fix that kind of circumvents this to a point, but the consistency is still kind of up in the air as people are still experimenting with it. Fix number 2 basically follows the same behaviors. Step 1, start up a VPN and set yourself in Japan as normal. Once your device thinks it's in Japan and everything's set up, you're going to go into your device specifically. This is geared more toward mobile devices, tablets, phones, or anything else of the like, less so than computers. While you are in your device, you're going to access settings, go to the tab for accounts. You're going to create a brand new Google account through the device itself. Well, after that, you're going to verify all the information as necessary. This fix normally should circumvent a lot of the phone number verifications, and a lot of people have confirmed that it has. But again, it's still kind of 50-50 on if it does work or not. But if it does work and it does not ask for the phone number to verify it, you can sign into your account with that alternative account, sign into look for Medarot S, download it, and you should be good to go. One final note, I am going to give this as well before I open it briefly to any major questions on this. Once you have the once you have the game downloaded and ready to go, you've already done the hard part. If you've already linked your account to a Google account, you just sign in with the tab on the top right on the title screen, you are all set, ready to go. If you have any concerns or going anywhere or any problems, you can also contact the care line specifically for Medarot S through their Twitter, and you can ask, just make sure you have pertinent information, and they should be able to assist you with rescuing your account, get you any passwords or any bypasses necessary so that you can sign in, rescue the account, and relink it as normal. They are very receptive based on what I've heard, so you shouldn't have any real problem with that as long as you keep a translator on hand, and just making sure that you stay up to date and stay in correspondence with them until the situation is resolved. Before, but Google being Google, I'm certain Imagineer didn't want to eliminate any third. No, I don't think this is the fault of Imagineer at all. I think, like I said, it's mostly just Google borking something because whether it was intentional or not, and I do expect that third-party app stores may or may not have this fixed before long, but only time will tell. While I open this to the floor real quick, I'm going to give you guys a sec to put any of your questions in the comments since this is a live stream, and I will address them here shortly. I'm checking on a couple of things here in just a second. Okay. What about iOS folks? For the most part, I have not heard about any major problems for Apple folks. The one person that I did speak with that does play on Apple said he did not even notice the bug was an issue at all. So again, I think it's mostly just a Google and a Droid thing. I think the primary thing is you still need to create the Google account for Japan going forward. So I don't think you guys really should have any part. If you guys are on Apple, if you've already created the Japanese Apple ID, you sign in, you download it, you should not have any major problems. If you have, do make sure that you mention it in our technical support channel and just any kind of fixes or complications you have, and we can add that to the list of fixes or step-by-step fixes going forward so that we can take care of both the Droid and the Apple folks and continue our Medarot adventure. Where were you set? Google did it. As long as you set the region of your device in Japan, that's really all you need, and that's why the VPN exists. And you only need it long enough to create the Google account. Once it's created and verified, you can get rid of the VPN. You do not need it anymore. It's just so that you can create the account long enough to tell Google it's in Japan, and when you sign into the App Store with it, it should automatically default to the Japan region anyway. DeepL translation plug. Yes, I honestly can't say it enough. DeepL is honestly fantastic. I use DeepL and Google Lens for my translations. Google Lens is usually very easy to use in a pinch because you can use it quickly and very easily with your camera. But I found that if you use it for long translations like sentences or phrases, it's usually kind of botched, kind of scuffed. Not the most accurate. Whereas with DeepL, if you're able to copy the text itself and drop it in there as a copied text, it's usually more accurate and more thorough with its translation and phrasing, and it'll usually try to keep it one-to-one. So highly recommend using DeepL as well for translation if you use it for anything, Medarot S or any other projects that you might need it for. I will always highly recommend it for that very reason. Now, going forward though, in particular, there's one other thing that I have been cooking up, primarily because I'm sharing my anniversary with a birthday of a very, very dear friend of mine who has been a fellow Medarotter and a best friend probably for almost close to a decade now as I think about it. Back when I started my Medarot adventure back in, say, 2014, 2015 or so. And as I go into that here briefly, and I'm going to step aside here because it is kind of big. I'm going to step aside here in just a minute. So with that being said, Ruben, if you are tuned in, my buddy, I do want to give you your birthday gift officially as I sign it. There we go. There you go, buddy. Happy birthday to you. I've been cooking this up for a good couple days now. Just kind of highlighting something special I wanted to give to you, not just to celebrate my anniversary, but also just to coincide with the day that your birthday and my third anniversary do kind of coincide on the same day. So I don't think this may happen again for another couple years or so. If it does, I might have something special cooked up for you again. Maybe by then I might have you as a guest host. Who knows? We'll have to see. But I did want to take a minute and say happy birthday, my bud. I do hope you enjoy this. I will send it to you in private once this stream does go down. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have to say, it was kind of tricky. This sucker is like 6,000 pixels wide in terms of resolution because I have to confess I did kind of keep running out of space trying to organize everybody so they don't overlap each other in any particular degree. But I'm happy with how well it came out as well, especially with the background and everything. I had a lot of fun with it, and I really hope that, I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. I do hope that you have a very special day as you celebrate with the family and the friends for your day of birth as well. Even with the well wishes here in my chat and with the global community of Medarot, we do want to wish you a happy birthday, bud. Don't want to hold you any longer because I'm more than certain you probably have plans, but thanks for tuning in long enough for me to present you your gift. With that being said, though, I am going to go ahead and continue going forward with the rest of the general coverage. Just a couple minor notes before I officially wrap up here and continue onward. I do want to give a friendly reminder. Actually, let me step back in here real quick. There we go. I do want to give a friendly reminder that I am also open for commission for anyone that would like to see art from me, much similar to that or even different. I can do, or Pakak Gets No Love. I was tempted to put it in there, as well as with Blackmail X, just to kind of put the whole DVL series in the banner. But, like I said, I ran out of room, because it just kept getting longer and longer, and I don't want this thing to be like 2,000, you know, like 20,000 pixels wide or whatever, where you can't see all of it. But who knows? Maybe I might add something later in the future, or draw the whole DVL series all at once. We'll have to see. Or, segueing to this one, you could also commission me for it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I can do live 2D models, as you see. I actually did the art for mine. It was fully cut up, ready to rig. Unfortunately, I can't do the rigging. That's not quite something that I can do. I do know some people I can recommend to you, though, if you would like to have a live 2D model ready to go. I can do standard 2D art of varying degrees of complexity and detail as well, as you see here. Just a couple samples. I can do 3D art as well, fully rigged, model, textured, ready to go. You can basically drag and drop in any program, SFM, MMD, VR chat if that's your particular poison, and I can set everything up for that and work with you on that. I can also do emotes here, as you see. Curious if you had commissions. Yes, I've always had commissions up. I just don't get anybody answering me. I can also do emotes, as you see here. Again, just a few samples. If you'd like to learn more or even ask about it or possibly work something out and commission me, you can reach out to me on Discord or on Twitter, and we can most certainly try to make something happen. Put together a purchase order of what all you want, work all the details, and I'll get to it whenever I can, as quickly as I can, as other orders come up. But with all that being said, I believe that covers basically everything for my usual news and the special gift to Ruben for the weekly art highlight. So what I'm going to do now is, as part of a very special extension of this episode to celebrate my 3rd anniversary, is, hold on, there we go, is I'm going to actually open the floor to you guys. So let me step aside here just a little bit more. That's just like there, perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to host and open up an AMA to you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the floor to you guys. If you have any questions, any suggestions, or just anything else that you want to talk to me about, pretty much the next several minutes based on however many people want to send me questions, I'll stick them here on this little notepad, as you see, and I'll answer them as I can. General rules of questions apply, just nothing majorly personal, but other than that, the floor is basically up to you guys. So I will give you just a couple minutes to start punching those in or sending them. Let me widen this just a little bit. There we go, right about there. And like I said, I'll just open the floor to you guys for the next several minutes, and we'll just keep going until you guys run out of questions or until I run out of time, whichever comes first. I will give you guys a couple minutes to start sending those in. I'm double checking some other things. Let me add this here as well, just to say that I cover it. Accept. Publish. Insert. Alright. That one covered, just for anything else. I'll kind of scroll through the chat here as well, just so I can see some other questions maybe people threw in here. Actually, could rather get by something Yeah, I've seen your comments on how many times Triple Gotson likes to spook your banner. So, like I said, we'll have to see how well that translates when the patch goes live. A30 patch fiasco mean less of a chance for Medarot. Okay, let me add that in here too. Patch fiasco less. The short answer is no. At least, in my personal opinion, I really don't think it's going to, because, again, it wasn't Imagineer's... I like to believe it was not Imagineer's intention to be able to do that and have that kind of issue come about. I think, like I said, it's more of a Google thing, and whether it was intentional or not, I do expect that third-party app stores may or may not have a fix for this sometime in the next few weeks, if not immediately, and we just haven't noticed. The good thing about this, though, is that it's not a really serious problem like a lot of people were freaking out about it to be. And like I said in that video, it was not necessarily panic, but a lot of people were genuinely scared by it for a while. And it's, like I said, it's mostly just a bug on Google's part, most likely, but it's a very easy fix. And the short answer is you just need the Google account set in Japan when you create it, and that's basically it. And as an added bonus, you get access to the entirety of the JP Play Store anyway. So at that point, you really have no need for a third-party app store because you've already done the hard part, and you can just reap the benefits. To answer that question, I don't really think it will. It's a goof on Google's part. It's 100 plus hours of the game, you'd be freaking out too. Oh yeah, like I said, I was freaking out over too when I started seeing these, but because I'd actually set up the Google account on my end about a year or so ago, I was able to sign in on my phone just fine without any major issue. I just had to double check and make sure my account was linked to that alt email, and once it was, I really had no problem to worry about. One other thing I do want to mention on this as well as a secondary answer, because I did not say it in that particular segment, is there is currently one Android emulator that has been confirmed to work and run the game properly. That is LD Player, on suggestion of a friend of mine, because they were able to try it on their end, they confirmed it worked and booted up the game fine. You just need to be able to play the game, to install the game and get the Japan account set up properly first, before you can do that. But otherwise, they're saying this emulator works fine. Uninstall Mumu or BlueStacks, whatever you're using, because I don't think it's going to work much longer, and just carry over to this one. Google, iOS folks, back to work. Good. Let me look at the comments here. Why do I enjoy Medarot? Well, the short answer to that is I've always liked robots. I grew up loving them. I've always been a fan of them. For those that tuned into my debut stream when I did that, I said there's just a handful of heroes, role models I always enjoyed. One of them is Cubics, if you guys remember that old fellow from back in the early 2000s. He's basically what got me started on robots, and I've always been a fan of him since. So it was only natural when I first found Medarot, when my brother brought home a copy of Medarot Brave, or here in the West, Medabots Infinity, and I basically fell in love with them immediately. And we explored other games in the title, and I took off and explored it on my own. And well, the rest is history, I guess. Almost 10 years in the making that I've been a dedicated Medarotter, and the last 3 of that has been delivering content to you guys in English, so we can try to stay involved with the community as a whole. Because I know the language barrier is a really big thing, and I'm just really glad that I'm able to do my part, even if I'm not making a really big reach. Just the fact that my stuff is being viewed and appreciated is honestly more than enough for me. How do I enjoy Medarot? I've always enjoyed robots. And just to kind of extend on that too, I'd say that also extends to my love for steampunk as well. Albeit that one's for a slightly different reason as well. but just the fact of seeing all the mechanical parts and everything that brings a machine to life and makes it move. I've always been very analytically minded. I've always liked seeing what components go into making something work, how does it work, what happens if you take this component out, what happens if this breaks. It's always been an interest of mine. So it only makes sense that things like robots and tinkering have always been a favorite of mine. Here, going through these. How do I enjoy that? Live streams be fun to have now and again. Everyone can bring a friend and pop up. So the way I'm understanding that is, do you want me to start streaming more? Should I stream more? I'm trying, I guess is the short answer for it. My work schedule's kind of whack right now because I'm trying to look for another position that gives me better and more consistent hours elsewhere. Currently, I do my everyday coverage on Tuesdays. Usually it's pre-recorded stuff. And then on Sundays, I usually will stream for about 3.5 hours or so, or even host an art stream, which has been moderately successful, I've been seeing, and I'm very happy about that. I would like to do it more. I'd like to host collabs with other streamer friends of mine and kind of expand my circles beyond Medarot whenever I'm not covering the usual news. It's mostly just a time thing for me more than anything else. Now, if you guys really liked how well this came out, and you guys really liked me streaming my segments instead of pre-recording them, I'm more than open to doing that every once in a while as well. Maybe for collabs I might do it, and just kind of, it might be more shotgun notice, because again, I post my stuff same day as the main channel. So, I don't know, we'll have to see, but if you guys would like to see me stream more, as time will permit. Down here for it's time to permit lots of let's see, moving forward. Any dream collabs I'm hoping to see before my 4th anniversary? Ooh, that's a good one. That's honestly kinda hard to answer, because there's just so many ways they could take it, and they've proven in the last 4 years they can collab with basically anything. I don't really know, honestly. Like, if I wanted to say anything, anything's on the table, I would love to see a Nintendo collaboration, because I would absolutely pay to see a Legend of Zelda models as official Medarots that we could pull for. Even if they're not great, or even if they're just, welfare bots and event rewards, I would happily see that. I happily would. But that's kind of a pipe dream more than anything else, because I know they're kind of picky with that. In terms of anything else, I really can't say. I know a lot of people have been saying they really want to see a Gundam collaboration because, well, we've had EVA, we've had Full Metal Panic, we've had Transformers, and now we've had Go Nagai with Mazinger Z and Mazin Kaiser and Shin Getter. It only makes sense that we have one of the original Super Robos as well, albeit Mazinger Z came first, just to kind of round out that trifecta. So let me see. Love to see Nintendo outreach. I have really no preference on Gundam because I'm not really that heavily into Gundam, or I've not quite gotten into it in particular. Primarily because there's just so many different series and variants, it's hard for me to tell. I did hear a lot of people say that Seed might be this new Seed one might be a possibility because it is new and the movie's been successful, so I wouldn't be opposed to that. But just as long as they don't forget the old RX-78, I really don't think there should be a problem. Let me see, moving onward here. What is the main thing that made you want to create the channel? Origin story, I'll just call it. So the short answer to that, I did cover that briefly in my debut video as well, is as a Medarotter for several years leading up to 2021, no one's really covered a lot of Medarot content, pretty much anywhere. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of art all over Pixiv and Twitter, and even in a couple other places as well, but no one really covered it in any major detail or any kind of coverage, say like if a new game came out or a review. All we really had was just the Project Rising Beetle blog, which has been kind of all but abandoned in the past several years and not really often updated. And when Medarot S came out, naturally I was excited to see all the coverage and all the bots that were in the game, and I would weekly post a pinned comment in Discord that would highlight the stuff that's going on that week. But as it just became bigger and bigger and more stuff was going live, I kept running out of room, even with the Discord Nitro subscription at the time. And after a while, I just decided, well, if nobody's going to cover Medarot content here in the West and translate it, because we have a whole community that's been translating and working hard to make sure that we understand it. If nobody's going to do it and talk about it and put it out there public for people to see, I really don't think anyone's going to. So that was kind of my inspiration with it, is I took up the mantle because no one else did. And I kind of brought up the mindset of, if I don't do it, anybody will. So let me cover here. The short answer, TLDR. No one else did it, so I took up the mantle. That's the short answer of it anyway, is, people weren't doing it, so I decided I would do it myself. And honestly, it's been a really fun journey. I've really enjoyed doing that with you guys and delivering that coverage and talking with you guys and all my guides and my breakdowns and my tutorials and everything. I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed doing that for you guys, and being able to geek out a little bit about my favorite thing and know there's a community that enjoys it, appreciates it as well, is honestly the driving force that keeps me going. And I've made a lot of friends, not just here in the West, but also on the Japan coast as well, and spoken with a lot of big names in the Medarot series as well. And it's honestly been great. It's been a fantastic journey, and I've enjoyed every second of it. And I'm excited to see where Year 4 goes forward as the future progresses. And I'm still excited and holding out for this big announcement that Producer-san said should be coming between now and Medarot Day 24. So we'll have to see as that draws closer. Let me see what other questions. Are there any other bots I'd like to see in S? Decoy Charge, obviously. I mean, yeah, that one's kind of obvious. I've begged and pleaded, and I've declared him for a while. Other bots I would like to see. If I exclude anyone that actually already has a model, because it's kind of just only time will tell before they're added in. In terms of models that have never gotten models, in terms of bots that have never gotten models at all, I would like to see the Dark Knight and the Holy Knight from Medarot 4 being added in officially. Whether or not they bring their special mechanic of seal and sigil and unseal, it's going to be kind of hard to tell because it is kind of a weird mechanic. But I would like to see them. I would like to see them come in as well. Who else could I think of? There's a handful from 5 I'd like to see. Rentahausen, I think, would be one of them. Home Carry from Navi. Lots of designs from Navi I'd like to see come back as well. Sweet and Guy Scythe would be a couple examples as well from that one. Let me see who else. Mad Muscle from Medarot 1 would be really neat to see. Honestly, just too many to count. I really can't say that. There's just so many. Too many to count. Because if I had it my way... Answer that. Medarot. If it were my choice, I'd have every last model from Medarot's history in the game. Sans Shingata, but maybe 2 or 3 from there. I don't know. But that'd be my decision anyway. But unfortunately, I don't have any ear close to the ground with Medarot S or Producer-san. As much as I'd love to, and being able to speak with them or even collaborate with them at some point, that'd be an absolute dream of mine. I don't. So I really can't say what they have planned down the pike or even with other collaborations, but if it were my choice, all of them. That's just the simple answer. All of them. Let me see. Up installed just saying Cubics, favorite media. I did kind of cover that question already, Jojo, with the collabs I'd like to see, so I'll move past that one. Favorite Medarot game besides S? Medarot. Besides S. The short answer is 9. Mostly because I played that one to completion several times. I played Navi to a handful of completion. I have to say I really do enjoy them. Abby. And I would love to see proper translations of those where I go back and play them again. Despite a lot of the community saying that 9 had a lot of plot holes in it that were not properly explained, mechanics-wise, they did say it was a very well-rounded game. And even up until the shutdown of the 3DS servers, people were still hosting tournaments on Twitter and places very consistently. I was not able to participate in any of them, sadly, but I did get to see some footage from them. They were very exciting, on the edge of my seat. And I always did enjoy 9. It had a lot of very well-rounded mechanics and was just in general a very nice game. Navi I always enjoyed because of its unique playstyle as well. But I really don't have to go into detail on that one. Would love to see a translation, but again, we just need manpower to do so. Let me see. What is my least favorite game from the series? Least favorite. Slightly starting to run out of room, but we'll make this work. It's hard to say because I've not played a lot of them. I've only played a handful of them, including Navi and 9. Maybe a handful, I think, of 4 I picked up. 4 and 5 I think I picked up ever so briefly, but I never actually finished them. So I was not able to really tell which one is like a least favorite. In terms of the ones that I've played, though, because that's specific to your question, not including Medabots Infinity. Well, that was my answer right there. And I have my own thoughts about that one, but that's for another stream, another chat. I really can't say. I really can't say. Primarily because, again, I've just not been able to play enough of the Japan-only games yet to tell which one was a favorite, which one wasn't. I do plan to play Medarot 3 sometime soon, like I said, whether it be on my own time or as a stream. So maybe that, maybe not. But I'm told that one was a very well-loved title, so we will have to see. So can't really say, unfortunately. Moving forward here. Original first anime, the OG, UC timeline, intimidating, size and standalone, the Iron Blood Orphan build. Yeah, there's a lot of good starting points that they could do with the Gundam collaboration. Like they could literally pick a name out of a box and they would have pretty solid success with it. 00, Iron Blooded Orphans, Wing, the OG, Seed. Honestly, I was kind of expecting to have seen one sooner with Witch from Mercury, with the Aerial, but I'm kind of shocked that one didn't come about. So I don't know. We'll have to see. My personal recommendation or preference of the few Gundam I do actually know of, I would love to see the full armor Gundam, the Thunderbolt Verka. Mostly because that was the one I used a lot when I played SD Battle Alliance with friends on Steam about a year or so ago. The Aegis I always thought was really cool. I think that would be kind of neat to see. I always liked the Psycho Zaku 2 from Thunderbolt. I really liked that one. The Full Armor Unicorn I really liked too, but I know that one was kind of like an offshoot of the original Unicorn, so I wouldn't be shocked if they did Unicorn, they'd make that one like a skin or something. That's just me. Great taste, Super Form, classics. Let me see a Gurren Lagann. Gurren Lagann was a really good one too, honestly. That's another really big series for Mecha that a lot of people tend to sleep on or forget. So that'd be a really good possibility as well sometime in the future if they do decide to keep the collabs up. And I'm fully expecting they will. In terms of anytime soon, I'm not 100% sure, because we have basically a whole month between now and the 4.5-year anniversary. So they could throw something in here, maybe a rerun collaboration, or even maybe something new for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. It's hard telling, because, again, it's basically just anybody's game. I can't really say one way or another. But, yeah, I'm open to basically any kind of collab in particular, because they can collab with so much now, and the previous history of the last 4 years has basically said that it's open game. They can pick basically anything from VTubers to anime to games, and basically make it work, and it be very successful. Kamen Rider, I think, was another one I've seen a lot of people say they'd like to see. So lots and lots and lots of really fun options. And yeah, lots of fun options, lots of good possibilities that we could see, either of returning bots that are coming in for it, or even just brand new ones to keep the collab hype train going. But I believe that basically covers all the questions, unless you guys had anything else to ask me. So I will open the floor for just a little bit longer while you guys are thinking about that, while I'm double checking a couple things here. Let me see. So it looks like you guys are pretty much clear on the questions, but honestly, you guys had a lot of really good ones. I really appreciated doing this little, Ever taken a trip to Japan? I want to. I want to so badly. I want to go visit. I want to go tour it and see the sights and actually experience it. I want to so bad, but, unfortunately, there's this thing called money that exists, and because of money, Mr. Bank Account and Mrs. Wallet say not on your life, unless somebody decides that they just want to fully fund a trip for me to Japan, and maybe we can make something happen. But I want to, that's the short answer, but it's just not been in the cards. I have a lot of places abroad I'd like to go see. Japan is absolutely one of them. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and close the AMA. Do I have any tattoos? No, I do not have any tattoos because I cannot stand needles. Every time they've had to draw blood or hit me with a booster when I was a kid, I do not appreciate getting poked. So needless to say, me willingly going under the needle for having a mark on my skin like that would probably never happen. I'm gonna be completely real with you. I don't think I would ever get a tattoo ever because I just don't do this, and that's just me. Nothing against folks that do tattoos, because a lot of people really enjoy them, or a lot of people want to go after them. They're just not for me. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close the AMA. Shift myself back over as we onward. Shift back over here briefly. That, but yeah, I believe that covers basically everything for this year's for this week's announcements, and covering my 3rd anniversary. You guys honestly made this a whole lot of fun. Like, normally it's just an easy, make my presentations, record, post it, and I'm done kind of thing. But I had a lot of fun with this one, being able to live stream it and celebrate with you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed that little animation that I put together and spent a few weeks making. I drew so much art for it. I was in a craze for the last 2 weeks, and I'm hoping to continue riding that high as I continue doodling and working on stuff going forward. Maybe we'll probably be hosting more art streams in the future as well, and as time permits, I'd love to start hosting more, I'm just going to say off-schedule streams as well, besides Tuesdays and Sundays. But again, it's more of a time thing more than anything else. But with all that being said, if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page, or the Metabots Forever community on there. The community on there on Facebook has honestly skyrocketed to beyond 23,000 members and counting, and it's honestly astounding how massive that community has skyrocketed just in the last 6 months alone. I was shocked when I saw it suddenly jump from like 1,000, 1.5 to 2,000 to 3,000. And yet here we are, and it's honestly amazing that it's been growing that far. And I keep in touch with that community as well and keep things managed and maintained. So if Discord or Twitter isn't quite your thing, I'll still keep you posted on the Medarot News Network stuff there as well. If you do have a Discord and you'd like to know more, you can join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below, and this will allow you to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any new links to merchandise, fan art, contests, my weekly episodes, or any other announcements I feel are pertinent and need to be announced and talked about. that's the first place you're going to hear it before it goes anywhere else on the net. And honestly, I'm shocked at how receptive and how responsive the Discord community is. I've been with it since basically its initial founding, and it's amazing to see how far that community has grown. And even at an average of like 1 new member a day at this point, I'm shocked, and I just love calling you guys a community that I can represent and be that voice for you guys here in the Western community, and just keep telling Imagineer that we're here and we want our fighting robots back. You can also join me on, you can also follow me on Twitter at Isagamikura if you have any questions, feedback, comments, or would love just to stop in and say hello. Or if you are a content creator or a YouTuber or a VTuber of any kind and want to collaborate with me, or if you'd like to commission me for some art of any kind of format or medium, you're more than welcome to reach out to me on there. I keep my DMs open on purpose for that very reason, and unless I suddenly take off where I get like 10,000 members, followers or something, and I just get so many messages and stuff I need to keep up with that I don't plan on closing my DMs anytime soon, so feel free to reach out to me, say hello, and we can most certainly try to make something happen if you'd like to possibly work out a commission or collaboration. But with all that being said, I really just can't thank you guys enough. That for these last 3 years, you guys have been with me. You've seen me grow. You've seen the style that I deliver my coverage change vastly, going from just standard slideshow to PNG tuber to VTuber to even now my V3 model, as you see here. It's been a journey, but it's been one that I've enjoyed every single moment of. Honestly, even with the hardest stuff that goes through my weeks, and even just these last 6 months alone, I must confess I've not been in the best headspace from work situations and everything else, and it's been tough from time to time. I will confess that, and I will state it publicly that I've been struggling with stuff. But every Tuesday, whenever Tuesday comes around, that's like the one day of the week that I can truly relax. I can take off the weights, I can de-stress, and I can just focus on talking about my favorite little fighting robots and just share the news with you guys. And it's always been that little booster and that mental boost that I need to help keep myself going some weeks and some days. And I'm just really thankful that you guys have made it so encouraging and so fun for me to be able to do this for you guys. Honestly, I'm more than certain that if I didn't pick it up, we probably would still, I'd argue probably like a quarter of what our current united community is. But I couldn't have done it without you guys. With you guys talking about it, encouraging me, sharing word, or collaborating with me, or talking about it, and just passing along word and word of mouth, I greatly appreciate that. And to each and every last one of you, how many subscribers do I have here? Check here real quick to see if I can count it properly. If I picked up one extra. Let me see. The 928 subscribers I have as of today. I just want to thank every last one of you for your support, encouragement, your kind words, your feedback, or basically anything constructive or anything encouraging that I've been able to use and grow and build with through these last 3 years to basically become the person I am today for you guys and delivering all that news. Thank you. I can't say it enough. Just thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it. I thank every last one of you for it. And I am very excited to see where Year 4 will go. Honestly, though, with that animation, I think I might have to top myself for Year 4 if things are still going on. Whether it still be Medarot stuff, or if I become just a more conventional streamer. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do for my 4-year anniversary if I make it that far. I'm really hopeful that we'll be hearing some really big Medarot news here in the West as Medarot comes up on its 24-year anniversary. And yeah, I'd say that's it. It's honestly been a real treat to enjoy Medarot, to do this for you guys. Thank you so much. But I won't hold you guys much longer, because I know some of you had to really bust your schedules to kind of tune in, even for just a little while here with me, and I do greatly appreciate that. I will have the individual breakdown for Leah 3 here up sometime very shortly. probably within the next hour or so, I'd say, before it does go live, and you guys will see my breakdown on her, if she's good or how good she is, or just my general thoughts on it. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping by, just as you always do, and especially today to celebrate a very momentous day in my and milestone in my journey as a content creator, not just for you guys, but also for Medarot as a whole here in the West. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping by, just as you always do. Until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.